Hello everybody. Today we're going to make old school yellow squash casserole. So I've got, and I'm not going to make an 11 by 17 inch pan. That's just way too much for me. And usually I don't peel mine unless it is really big, because these smaller squash, they are tender enough that they don't need to be peeled. That peeling will cook down just like the rest of the squash. And I've already washed these. They're still wet, just to save a few minutes of time. And also, if you get the smaller one, if you'll notice, the seeds are not real big in there. They're real tiny. I mean, they're not mature seeds, so you can eat the seeds. Yeah, I'm just going to use like a 10 by 10 inch pan. I think that's about what that is. You can cut them about 1/4 of an inch thick. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that people make their squash casseroles, but this is the old school way. So this is the way I'm doing it. Oh, and you need to go ahead and preheat your oven to 350. Almost forgot to turn that on. Now, if you planted squash, you're probably going to get plenty of squash out of your garden this year. My first squash plant's putting out squash, but they look kind of wonky. I don't know why they're looking the way they are. They may not have gotten pollinated, I don't know, properly. So that might have something to do with it, I don't know. Now, most recipes call for like 3 whole pounds of squash, and that makes a gigantic pan full of squash casserole. I didn't want anything that big, so I'm just using 3 medium-sized squash because I didn't want them too big that the seeds were going to be not edible, put it that way. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put that right there because I'm not using that casserole dish right now. I'm going to bring my dish over here. I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of butter in my pan. I may add more, I don't know. I'm going to add some onion, and I've got some pre-chopped onions, so I'm going to go ahead and use these. And I'm going to put probably half an onion, maybe a large onion in there. That should be plenty. That saved me from having to chop an onion today. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of salt. And I never usually get my 1 teaspoon. I'm going to add my squash. Was about to forget, I gotta melt my butter for my topping. I'm just gonna put my couple of tablespoons of butter in the microwave, and I'm putting it on defrost because that'll give it enough power to melt the butter without popping it all over my stove. You'll need a colander with a bowl or something underneath it. And I'm going to get another small bowl. To get my do my crust. Now I'm just going to, you can use like 1 sleeve of Ritz crackers. You can use a sleeve of saltine crackers. I've chosen to use Cheez-Its. So I'm going to put in there what I think. That should be enough because, like I said, I'm not, the full recipe calls for 2 whole sleeves of it. And I'm not doing the whole recipe, so where's my butter? Butter is plenty soft. You'll need Parmesan cheese. And I'm just going to take this little bowl, glass bowl. I don't want to make powder out of them. I want them in big enough pieces that they'll have some crunch to the topping. So I'm crushing them, but I'm not going to pound them to death. I'll see how much I have in here, and then I might add a few more. Now I'm going to add let's see. The full recipe calls for an ounce of Parmesan cheese. And this is 6 ounces in this bag, so that's probably a good ounce right there. Take my butter and just pour it right in with my mixture here. That is my cracker crumbs, my Parmesan cheese, and my butter. Yeah, shredded Parmesan cheese is what it's calling for. And this mixture, and I always have my hands in front of it, but this mixture will be our topping. We'll set that aside over here. And I probably need to put a lid on this so it'll cook faster. I just hit the camera. thundering, y'all. We got a lightning storm out here. And I'm going to need to cover this and let it cook a little bit. You need to cook your squash until it's tender. You don't want to burn it or brown it too much, but you do want to cook it until it's tender. But yeah, we just need to cook it till it's tender, and then we can go on with the next step. And I'll bring you back. Okay, we're back. We've cooked our squash. It's been about 8 to 10 minutes. It's tender. The insides are all tender. I've got my colander with a bowl for the liquid to drip into. And I'm just going to pour my mixture right into my colander. And we're just going to let that drip. Drain all that juice or water out of it, because we don't want a wet, soggy casserole. I mean, there's not much in there, but every little bit that you can get out helps. I mean, I've already got about 1/4 of a cup of liquid in the you can see it dripping. And sometimes it takes up to 5 minutes for it all to drip out. Meantime, I'm going to go ahead and spray my casserole dish. And you can use an aluminum one, a metal pan, glass, baking dish, whatever you want to use. I'm using this one because it's just about the right size for what I want it to be. Always make a mess with it. I get it all on the outside. And I like to wipe it off because I don't want the butter to burn on the outside of my dish. I don't think it looks good. It doesn't look appealing when you got burnt butter on there. I think it's dripped off enough. I got quite a bit of liquid down in there. I know you can't see it. But I'm just going to pour that liquid out. And I'm going to put my mixture right in the bowl. But I drained the liquid out now. I poured that in the sink. Now we need our sour cream, mayonnaise, egg, I could get somewhere where that light, I tried to get the smallest bulb in that light up here that I could possibly get, and if I could diffuse it just about that much, it would make a world of difference. I've got to find somehow to defuse this light. See that difference it makes? See if I can. Do something with it up here so it'll work. See the difference? At least you can see what I'm, well, you could see what I'm doing. It's got to focus again, I guess. The camera's just not focusing good. But anyway, here is our mixture. Maybe if I put it here. I don't know. It seemed like it focused better when I did everything on the table, but it's not possible to do it on the table all the time. Cheddar cheese, Swiss cheese. Okay, it says to 4 ounces of shredded cheddar cheese, and this is an 8-ounce bag. But like I said, I've cut this recipe down quite a bit, so I don't need that much cheese in there. And then I'm going to put in, I didn't have Swiss cheese on hand, but I've got this other cheese it's like a blend of different cheeses. Put some of that in there. I'm going to put, let's see, mayonnaise. I'm going to put in some thyme. It said to use 2 teaspoons of thyme, and I'm just going to put 1. Supposed to be, you know, I'm not even going to put that in there. But if you have fresh thyme is what it calls for. I don't have fresh thyme, so I'm not going to put it in there. What I'm going to do is substitute it with some Italian seasoning, I think. Okay, where's my Italian seasoning? Well, how about some complete seasoning? Because it's got thyme and all that good stuff in there. So we'll put about a teaspoon of that in there. And you know me now, I don't measure hardly ever. I've cooked so much, I just look at it and add it in. Now, let's see. We've got a 1/2 cup of mayo, which I don't need to put that much in because it's not the full recipe. So I'm probably just going to put like a 1/4 cup. I'm going to put in 2 eggs. eggshell in there. I'm going to put in some sour cream. Black pepper. A little bit more salt, which would be about a teaspoonful or half a teaspoon. I don't want to put too much in there myself. I can add salt later. I'm going to add, well, it calls for the whole 8-ounce container. If you're doing a full recipe, I've whittled it down. I'm not doing a full recipe, so I'm not using this whole thing. I'm probably only going to be using a little over half of it, maybe. And I think that will be sufficient. Now, let's make sure I got everything. Mayonnaise, cheese, sour cream, eggs, salt, onion. And my onions are, my eggs are in there already. So now we just have to mix this good mixture up. Looks gooey. Smells good. And it's got everything in there that I like, so it should be good. Put a little bit more complete seasoning in there. Like I said, it's got a little bit of thyme and all that. It calls for fresh thyme. I don't have any. I'm not sure if I put seeds out for thyme yet or not. I think I bought seeds to put out, but I don't know if I've got them out yet. Now I'm just simply going to pour that mixture in my greased casserole dish. And see, that come out really good for this size pan. There's no way I need to make one of those gigantic 17-inch pans. And I don't think there's any danger of it running over because I got plenty of space at the top. You can see that. But that's a good size casserole. You know, you don't want any more than that for one person. I mean, you can freeze it after you cook it. I could freeze it right now, let it cool off and freeze it, and cook it another time. But what we're going to do now is put this in the oven. Okay, now we're supposed to put our topping on. I hope you can see that. I'm just kind of crumbling it on with my fingers. And remember, that's nothing but Cheez-Its, butter, and some grated, or not grated, but well, I guess it is grated. It's not the one. I have to look at the package, y'all. I don't know what I did with the package. Finely shredded. I was trying to think of the word shredded, but it's finely shredded Parmesan cheese. I'm just trying to get it spread out evenly. I'm getting it all over the place. But my stove is clean. My fingers are clean. Everything I'm using is clean. Now, we're simply going to put this in our 350 preheated oven for about 20 minutes. And I'll bring you back when I'm getting ready to take it out. Well, we're back. We're going to see if our casserole is done. It's been in there for about 25 minutes. It's looking good. Let me see. I don't want it still too watery, so. Oh no, it's looking pretty good, so I'm going to turn the oven off. I'm going to get out a spoonful of it. Oh yeah. I love it when you cut into a casserole and there's nothing running out all over the place. Look at that. Don't that look good, y'all? And look at here where I got it out of the corner. Just you don't have to see a bunch of stuff running in the corner. That's the reason it's done. You know it's done when it's like that. But you got that crunchy stuff on the top. Look at that. That is way too hot for me to eat right this minute. Get a little bit of that crunchy on the top. And some of that inside mixture. See if we can't cool it off. Y'all take a bite. Don't that look good? Mmm. Looks good to me, y'all. Everybody always wants to see me take a bite of what I make. So I eat everything I make, y'all. Unless somebody helps me eat it, I eat it. I freeze part of it. My freezers are full right now. But I might find room to put maybe a carton or two of that squash casserole in there. Mmm. Old school way is the best, y'all. This squash casserole is the bomb. Oh my God, it is so good. Mmm. This is my dinner tonight, y'all. Squash casserole. Don't it look good? Mmm. Mmm. That is good stuff. That cheese it's topping, oh my goodness. Adds just the right amount of extra cheese to this dish that you need. That is some of the best squash casserole I've ever eaten in my life. Mmm. Oh my goodness, that is so good. Mmm. Well, with that said, I'm going to wish y'all a good day. I wanted to show you this casserole. It looks, look at that. Don't that look good, y'all? That is a good looking casserole right there. Y'all need to try it. You will love it. You'll never fix it any other way. Because that is good, y'all. And with that, I'm going to wish you a good day. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a blessed evening. Have a blessed day tomorrow. And I'll see you on my next recipe. Bye now.